To Dyken Park, everybody. Night baseball here on a Sunday evening. Final game of the three-game series. Mariners going for the sweep. Rick Riz along with Gary Hill Jr. and Shannon Dreyer. And on the mound for the Astros, 32-year-old right-hander Jason Alexander. Randy Arozarena will lead things off. Here's the windup first pitch. Fastball is in there, first strike, and we're underway. Welcome to Mariners baseball, everybody. Mariners get back home late tonight. They have the day off tomorrow. And then on Tuesday night, entertain the Colorado Rockies. Wind up and the pitch. Swing and a foul tip into the glove of the catcher, Yainer Diaz. 0-2 on Randy. Jason Alexander, 4-1 since coming up to the big leagues this year with Houston, a 4.04 ERA. The wind up the 0-2. Fastball is high and outside for ball one. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Making his 17th appearance of the year. And his 12th start, he's pitched very well. Young man out of Windsor, Canada. Here's a swing and a bounce foul on the third base side, and the count is still 1-2 on Randy. It'll be Randy Arozarena, Cal Raleigh, Julio Rodriguez, Naylor, Polanco, Suarez, Canzone, Robles, Crawford, the lineup tonight. Here's the windup, and again the 1-2 pitch, swinging a chopper towards short, charging is Devon. He's got it to throw to first, and it's in time to get a hustling Randy Arozarena for the out, and there's one away. Jeremy Pena not in the lineup tonight. He was in the original lineup for the Astros, but was scratched. He's out with a strained muscle in his side, and that's bad news for the Astros. He's one of their better players. Well, here he is, Cal Raleigh, set more Mariner history last night with home run number 57, surpassing Ken Griffey Jr., the Hall of Famer, most home runs in Mariner history in a single year. Pitch on the way to Cal, and it's outside for ball one. He's doing it from the right side of the plate, from the left side of the plate. He was batting right-handed last night when he went oppo to right center field for number 57. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball stays outside for ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. So now Cal from the right side, 22 home runs. From the left side, 35 home runs, 57 home runs in this historic year. Here's the pitch. Changeup. Swing and a miss by Cal for strike 1. And that is Jason Alexander's pitch. It's a 4-seam changeup. Doesn't sink a lot, but he takes enough off where it really looks like his fastball. It's been a really good pitch for him. 2-1 the count on Cal. He's trying to reach Babe Ruth, who hit 60 home runs back in 1921. Here's the pitch. Swung on, bounce foul on the first base side. Hey, nice stop by Eric Young Jr. That ball was spanked pretty well, and EY made a nice stop, tosses it high over the netting to a fan. And the count is now even on Cal at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Now the look in by Alexander, the windup and the 2-2 to Cal, swing and a miss at that changeup for strike 3, and the Mariners have 2 down here in the top of the first inning. By the way, tonight's first pitch of the game was brought to you by Michael's Toyota Bellevue since 1974. That's Michael's Toyota Bellevue, for the life you live. Mariners trying to make it 3 in a row here in Houston. Here's Julio Rodriguez. Julio gave the Mariners their first run of the series 2 nights ago with a long home run to left field. The pitch swung on, ground ball. 2-hopper to short, up for the ball. Devon to throw to first, and it's in time to get Julio. And the Mariners go 1-2-3 here in the top of the first inning. Underway, our Mechanics Bank score. As we go to the bottom of the first, it's the Mariners nothing and the Astros coming up.
Hey Mariners fans, Dan.
5-6 record with a 3.53 ERA, making his 24th start of the year. Last outing last Tuesday, September the 16th. That was a 12-5 win against the Royals in Kansas City. Went 5 2/3 innings, gave up just 2 runs, 1 walk, and he struck out 5. Jose Altuve to lead off the bottom of the first inning for Houston. In a few steps at third base is Suarez. Here's the windup and Logan's first pitch. Swinging a line drive. Fair ball down the left field line and toward the corner. Altuve, they turn, heading for second. Up with the ball, Randy Rosarena. The throw in is going to be cut off by Crawford. Altuve with a leadoff double. Hit it hard down the left field line, and right away the Astros with a man on at second. Say, friends, when considering a Volvo, people should come to Sandberg Volvo Cars in Linwood to experience the Sandberg difference. The only Excellence Award winner and family-owned and operated Volvo dealership in the Northwest. Come in as a friend, leave as a member of the family. See great reviews at SandbergVolvoCars.com. Here's third baseman Carlos Correa. Years ago, a first-round pick by the Astros. Left, and now he's back. Was with Minnesota earlier this year. Gilbert will look back. The stretch and delivers way up and in as Correa gets out of the way from ball one. With the Twins this year, Correa was hitting .267, 7 home runs, and 31 runs batted in. What a win for the Mariners last night. 6-4, they hang on and win it. They had a 6-0 lead. But the Astros came back. Here's the pitch. Fastball for a strike. On the outside corner, says home plate umpire Nate Tomlinson. Maybe a little bit outside, but Logan gets the call. 1-1. Bruce Dreckman is the umpire at first. Mike Malinsky at second. Shane Livensparger at third. Here's the pitch. Swung on, ground ball to short. JP is there. Checks the runner, Altuve. Throws the first in time to get Correa, so Altuve cannot advance. The ground ball to the left side. So 1 on and 1 away. No score. We're just underway here in the bottom of the first inning. That'll bring up designated hitter Isaac Paredes. He's back off the IL. He was gone for a long time. He went on the injured list back on July the 19th with a severely strained hamstring. He can't run that well, but he's in the lineup. They need his bat. Here's the pitch. Swung on and popped up. Right side of the infield. Coming toward the mound is Josh Naylor. Naylor is there, and he makes the catch, and a huge second out to get Paredes. So runner on at second, a leadoff double Altuve, and now there's 2 down, and that'll bring up Jesus Sanchez. And Gary, that's what the Mariners pitchers have done. If they get in trouble, they've been able to wiggle out of it.
Yeah, that has been consistent, not only with the starters, but some big outs recorded by the bullpen as well. Gabe Spire yesterday. Seen Pizzardo in this series as well.
And here's Jesus Sanchez, the former Marlin. Here's the pitch on the way, and it's outside for ball 1.
He has the exact same walk-up song as Gino, so every time Sanchez is up to bat, I think it should be Gino walking up to the plate.
Gino's going, hey, what you doing? That's my song. 1-0 Sanchez, batting .241 for the year. Numbers between the Marlins and the Astros. The pitch, swing and a miss. And the count is even on Sanchez at 1 ball and 1 strike. Logan has that great splitter. And with the splitter, teams are hitting just 111 against the splitter. 4-seam fastball, they're hitting just 228. So he likes to get out in front of the count with a fastball and get you out with that splitter. Swings and misses on it or a ground ball out. Altuve lead at second. Here's the pitch. The Sanchez swinging a ground ball up the first base line. Fair ball deep behind the bag. Long flip by Naylor over to Logan, covering first on the play, and it's in time to get Sanchez, and that will retire the side, and Logan pitches around a leadoff double. No runs, a hit, and 1 man left on. We go to the top half of the second. Mechanics Bank score, the Mariners nothing and the Astros nothing. Here in Houston, Texas, Mariners looking for a sweep of the Astros. Right now, the Mariners with a 2-game lead over Houston in the American League West. And guess what? The Tigers lost again today. They've now lost 6 in a row. So the Mariners looking for that second spot by a division winner to get a bye. Here's Josh Naylor. Bunt attempt on the third base side. Coming way up to get to it is Correa. No chance to get Naylor because Correa was playing way off the bag at third. Toward the hole at short. And Josh Naylor just lays down a bunt along the third base side for the infield bunt base hit. Man, is this guy some kind of smart?
Oh, we saw him earlier in the series. Had a notion that he was going to do that. And this time just laid down a perfect bunt. There was no chance for Correa. Especially with Naylor's speed.
Yeah. You're right. Keep an eye on him right now. Here's Jorge Polanco, and Polanco takes a look at ball one, but that's just a base hit waiting to happen. Lay down a bunt. It's the same thing as a line drive to center field. Got a man on at first base. Naylor can't steal. Here's the pitch to Polanco, and it's outside for ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes.
Well, you like that scenario with him leading off an inning, and you have Polanco and Suarez swinging great bats behind him. It kind of sets the table for the rest of the inning.
Polanco's been one of the hottest bats for over a month, and Gino's swinging a great bat right now. Here's the next offer, a strike and a breaking ball, and the count is now 2-1 on Polanco. But Naylor on at first base. He is sneaky quick. 26 steals on the year. Home run the other night. 2020 man for the first time in his career. The pitch low and inside to Polanco. Ball 3. 3 balls and a strike. Mariners in the first 2 games of the series have been able to get out to a quick lead and keep a huge crowd quiet for most of the night last night until Pena hit that grand slam in the 7th. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss, and there's that changeup from Alexander. Looks like a fastball out of his hand. Looks like a fastball on the way to home plate. It just doesn't get there. The count is now 3-2 on Polanco. Naylor, again a lead at first base, held on by Christian Walker. 1 on, nobody out, top of the second, no score. Here's the stretch. And the 3-2 on the way, swinging a chopper to the right side of the infield, past the pitcher, charging as Altuve barehands the ball to throw to first. Not in time. Polanco is safe at first base with an infield single. Altuve charging up onto the infield grass. Gets to it, but the throw to first is late. So Naylor is on at second. Polanco on at first base with a base hit. But hustled by Polanco, and that'll bring up Gino. Eugenio Suarez, 2 for 4 last night with a couple of doubles. 3 for 8 in the series with a long home run above the train tracks in left field. Daikin Park. This park has been named, well, a number of names along the way since it opened up in 2000. But the familiar sight is that locomotive on the tracks out there in left field. The stretch of the pitch on the way to Gino. Swinging a line shot into right field. That's going to drop in. A base hit. Runners take off, and now the Mariners have the bases loaded. Long throw to the plate by Zach Cole. It's up the third base line. Diaz, the catcher, has to go get it. But Naylor had to make sure that ball didn't quite get out to Cole in right field. He had to hold up. But a solid base hit into right field by Suarez. And now the Mariners have the bases loaded with nobody out here in the second.
Well, one of the things the Mariners have done so well in this series is scoring first and scoring early. They've done it in the first 2 games, so now a golden opportunity right here to get on the board.
And that'll bring up designated hitter this evening, Dom Canzone. Canzone batting .300 for the year, 10 home runs, 29 runs batted in, had the career day in Kansas City on this road trip, in which he had 5 hits, including 3 home runs. So Canzone with a chance to really do some damage right here. He is 7 for 15 on the road trip. Infield is back up the middle. Runner at every base. Now the pitch on the way to Canzone, and it's outside for ball 1. Singles by Naylor, bunt base hit. Polanco, infield single. Then a rocket into right field off the bat of Gino. Now 8 hits in his last 21 at-bats. Here's the pitch. Swinging a line drive off the glove of a reaching Correa at third. The throw to the plate, they will force Naylor at home for the out. One away, and what a play by Carlos Correa, reaching to his left. The ball glanced off his glove, and fortunately for the Astros and unfortunately for the Mariners, the ball kind of dropped right to his left. If that ball gets by him, it's going to be a base hit, but Correa was able to get to it, fire home, as Naylor was taking a circuitous route way up onto the infield grass, looking to get to the plate.
Yeah, he's trying to get in the way of the throw home. He knew the angle that Correa was throwing the ball, and he did everything possible to try and put his back in between the throw and home plate.
Not a bad idea.
As long as you don't mind getting hit in the back.
Here's the pitch on the way to Victor Robles. A swing and a miss, and the count is 0-1. Robles, one of the many stars in last night's game, diving, game-saving, season-saving catch out of right center field. Otherwise, the Astros come back and win it. Here's the 0-1 pitch to Victor, and it's low and outside for ball one, so one out, and the bases are still loaded. Now you got Polanco on at third, Suarez at second, Canzone at first. He had a rocket that Correa barely got his glove on. The windup and the 1-1 to Victor. Up and in for ball two, 2 balls and a strike. Robles, 2 nights ago with his first home run of the season, but remember, he missed so much time on the IL with that badly injured shoulder, suffered early in the season in San Francisco. Now the windup and the 2-1 pitch. Swing and a bounce foul out by the Mariners' third base dugout, and the count is even on Robles at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Mariners looking to cash in on this golden opportunity. Robles is ready, so is Alexander. Runners are lead at every base. The windup and the 2-2 pitch. Way outside with a breaking ball. Ball 3, full count, 3 balls, 2 strikes. Now keep in mind, Alexander will throw that changeup at any time in the count. Runners get their leads. Polanco, Suarez, Canzone, third, second, and first. Alexander ready, the windup and the 3-2 on the way, low and outside for ball 4. Bases loaded, walk to Victor Robles. He picks up a run batted in. That's going to force in Polanco from third. And the Mariners have a 1-0 lead over the Astros here in the top half of the second. What an at-bat by Victor. The bases remain loaded with Suarez, Canzone, and Robles aboard for J.P. Crawford.
A great start again. Scoring first, scoring early.
And get some more right here. Only 1 out in the inning. The windup and the pitch on the way to J.P. And it's a fastball for a strike. Right down the heart of the plate, 0-1. Well, tonight's Men of Steel report brought to you by Steel Outdoor Power Equipment, Cal Raleigh. 57th home run of the season last night. The windup and the 0-1 to J.P. Swing and a miss, and the count is 0-2. Tonight's Men of Steel report brought to you by Steel Outdoor Power Equipment. Visit SteelUSA.com or log on to your local Steel dealer today. Here's the look in by Alexander, and the 0-2 pitch, low and inside. It bounces in. A good stop by Yainer Diaz. Ball 1 ball and 2 strikes. Randy Arozarena is due up next. Mariners with 1, 2, 3 hits, a fielder's choice, and a bases-loaded walk. 1-0 lead. Top of the second, Alexander. The 1-2 pitch, swing, and a well-hit ball deep to right field. Cole going back, looking up, and goodbye baseball. Grandma, get out the rye bread and mustard. It is grand salami time. J.P. Crawford with his second grand slam of the season, 12th home run of the year. And the Mariners now lead the Astros 5-0 here in the top half of the second. J.P. touches home. In front of him, Suarez, Canzone, and Robles touch home. 5 runs are in here in the top of the second. And I'm telling you, this team is fired up, looking for a sweep here in Houston and taking a bigger lead in the West. Holy smokes, what a start to this game. J.P. Crawford with a grand slam. Here's Randy. And Arozarena takes a strike, 0-1.
Hello, perfect start. That's what this is. Man.
Great at bats, and then, boom, the big swing. Here's the pitch of the way. Swinging a line drive into center field. A base hit for Randy. a joyous reach in the air because that breaks a string of 0 for 21. Randy Arozarena fighting his way out of that slump. I think he wants the baseball. Randy Arozarena with a base hit. And guess what? There's still only one out here in the top half of the second. J.P. Crawford with the Mariners' 8th grand salami of the year. He's got 2 of them. Cal with 3. Oh, I love that. And it just reminds me of the greatest announcer in baseball history, Dave Niehaus, when he first said that back in 1995. Grandma, get out the rye bread and mustard. Grand salami time. JP still celebrating inside the Mariners' third base dugout with the trident. And Cal Raleigh is due up next. Time is called. The pitching coach Josh Miller out to the mound. Have a talk with Jason Alexander. The Mariners have teed off here in the second.
Well, the Astros have the bullpen up, and you think about how important this game is from their perspective. Their back's against the wall now. They are pushed out of playoff contention right now. They're looking up at Cleveland, or they were looking up at Cleveland, I guess. Cleveland lost already today, so the Astros have moved past them by half a game. But if they lose, Cleveland takes that spot right back.
They are in deep trouble. Here's Cal Raleigh. Toss over to first base. Randy back to the bag. Cal 0 for 1 on the day. 57 home runs on the season. Moving by Ken Griffey Jr. last night for the most home runs by a Mariner in a single year. Now the stretch and the pitch on the way to Cal. Low and inside for ball 1. So who's in front of Cal right now? Well, Aaron Judge has the American League record with 62. He set that back in 2022. Roger Maris at 61 in 1961. Then there's Babe Ruth right in front of Cal. Here's the pitch. Swing and a well-hit ball down the right field line. Stay fair. Goodbye, baseball. Holy smokes, he does it again. Number 58 for Cal Raleigh. Getting closer to the Bambino. Cal Raleigh with a 2-run streaming line drive. He is rampaging through the record books here in 2025 and writes another chapter in a storybook season. Cal Raleigh with home run number 58 on the year, getting closer to Babe Ruth, getting closer to Maris, getting closer to Aaron Judge. Holy smokes, what a year for Cal Raleigh. And the Mariners now lead the Astros 7-0. Here's Julio, and Julio takes a pitch outside for ball 1.
That was a rocket. That got out of here fast.
In a hurry, number 58 leaves the ballpark. Here's the pitch, swung on line to center field by Julio. He joins the hit parade. A solid base hit up the middle, and still only 1 out in the inning. And the Mariners have tattooed Jason Alexander here in the top half of the second. The Mariners have now batted around. That will bring up Josh Naylor, who started this inning with a bunt base hit. And here comes manager Joe Espada out of the dugout. So the pitching change coming up for the Houston Astros. Cal Raleigh with his 58th home run of the year. What a season for Cal Raleigh. A magic carpet ride, and it just continues. So a pitching change for Houston. Mariners lead 7-0. Don't go away, folks. We'll be back.
Great moments in baseball have been broadcast on the radio since 1920.
Sanchez, he's there, and he makes the catch for the second out of the inning. It was Josh who led off this inning with a bunt base hit. All of a sudden, rockets all over the place after that. Polanco with a base hit. That was an infield single. But Suarez hung out a line drive. You can hang the laundry on in right field to load the bases. Fielder's choice. You got to force it home. Robles, a bases loaded walk to score a run. J.P. Crawford, grand slam to right field. Rosarena with a base hit, and Cal with a 2-run home run, his 58th of the year. Here's Jorge Polanco for the second time in the second inning, swinging a drive, deep center field, going back. Myers near the warning track, on the track. He's there, and he makes the catch, and that will retire the side. Well, the Mariners bat around for 7 runs here in the top half of the second. We go to the bottom of inning number 2. It's the Mariners 7 and the Astros nothing.
Mariners fans, it's time to bring the noise to T-Mobile Park. This lineup is loaded up and locked.
What an inning for the Mariners. 7 runs on 7 base hits. Here's the windup and the 0-1 to Walker. Swing and a miss. Good splitter, and the count is now 0-2.
That was amazing.
Wow.
What a great start to this game.
Man. And this is what the Mariners have done in this series. They have taken the crowd out of the game right away. In Game 1, Julio hit that long home run in the first inning. The Mariners hit 4 home runs in that game. Shut out the Astros 4-0. They did it again last night. Here's the windup. And again tonight. Here's the pitch. Swing and a pop-up. First base side, foul territory, long run. Naylor runs out from underneath his cap near the dugout, and he almost overran the ball, but he makes the catch. Naylor kept flying in and tosses the ball over to Cal Raleigh right behind him. So Josh Naylor likes to play way off the bag at first. The ball was popped up to the right side of home plate, to the home plate side of the Astros first base dugout. So Josh had a long way to go and had to reach back in the last second to make the nice catch. One away. Man, he's been Mr. Everything for the Mariners. With the bat defensively, running the bases. Here's Yainer Diaz, the catcher, a strike. And the count is now 0-1. So the Mariners lead 7-0, looking for a sweep. and push the Astros farther back in the West. Right now, the Mariners a 2-game lead over Houston. Here's the pitch. Swinging a chopper to the right side. Right there, second baseman Jorge Polanco to gobble it up. Throws a little wide to first. Taken by Naylor way to his left. He puts the tag on Diaz in front of the bag for the second out. But the Mariners on top of the West and are looking to move by. They already have moved by Detroit to grab that second bye spot for a division leader. Toronto Blue Jays lead the American League East. They won yesterday. They have clinched the playoff spot. Actually clinched a playoff spot. Here's the pitch on the way. Way up and into Jake Myers for ball one. Myers was the one who was doubled up in last night's game. He was on at second when Carlos Correa hit that shallow fly ball to right center field, and Victor Robles came racing in, flying out of nowhere to make an incredible diving catch. Myers was heading toward home plate. Here's the pitch. Swung on. Fly ball to Robles in right field, over toward the line. Victor is there, and Kerplunk makes the catch, and that's going to retire the side. An easy 1-2-3, bottom of the second for Logan Gilbert. We go to the top of the third. Mechanics Bank score. It's the Mariners 7 and the Astros nothing.
This is Congresswoman Marilyn Strickland.
The second as the Mariners bat around and batter the starter, Jason Alexander. He has been chased. So Gino Suarez will lead things off in the third. He picked up a base hit. Mariners, such an impressive series against Houston. Taking the first two games, looking for a sweep, and off to a great start. Here's the pitch. That's upstairs. A ball. 1 ball, no strikes. De Los Santos on in relief for the Astros. He works from the stretch here. Here comes the pitch. That sails outside, taken for a ball. The Mariners certainly want to keep the pressure on offensively. One of the backdrops to this one, when you look at Game 3 of this series, the Mariners have had to work really hard with the back end of their bullpen the last few days. Here's the pitch. That's upstairs for good reason. Mariners winning each of the past 3 days. Munoz has pitched 3 days in a row. Bizzardo has pitched 3 days in a row. Here's the offering. And that's taken over the middle for a strike. 3 balls, 1 strike, no outs, third inning. 7-0 Mariners. He is set. Here's the pitch. Sails outside, ball 4. The Mariners are right back at it. Leadoff runner aboard, a walk here in the third. And Gabe Speier has pitched 4 of the past 5. So you think about that back-end group. I mean, you have to assume Munoz and Bizzardo are both down for sure, pitching 3 in a row. And we don't know about Speier. It's kind of a guess, but 4 out of 5, he could be as well. Suarez at first base. Here's Canzone. Here's the pitch. That's upstairs.
With a huge lead early, you hope you get guys in there that can give you some innings. Hopefully Logan goes 6 innings tonight, at least with that big lead. But use some other guys to give you a few innings where you don't have to obviously use the other guys. You got the day off tomorrow.
Yeah, you were hoping for 2 things, I think, coming in. Here's the pitch. Swung on, fouled back. One is Logan to give you 6 or 7 innings. The other was, I joked like, oh, score 15 runs, you don't have to worry about it. Well, I wasn't expecting 7 in the second inning.
Halfway there, almost.
But those are the 2 things I think you were hoping for. So, tremendous start for the Mariners. Here's the pitch. Swung on, cracked to second base on the backhand. Altuve has it, flips it to second of 1. Relay to first in time to get Dom the double play. Dom hit that 111 off the bat. It just happened to be near Altuve to make the play. Mariners are just blistering the ball all over the yard tonight. They're lighting up exit velo. Here's Robles. He had an RBI walk in the second inning. 7-0 Mariners. Looking to break out the brooms. Already 2 games up in the division, trying to make it 3 tonight. Here's the pitch. That's a strike. And keep in mind, because of last night, the Mariners have the tiebreaker. So 3 is really 4 with 6 games to go. So you start to do the math. That's assuming the Mariners win this one. You start to do the math. It becomes very tough for Houston. Here's the pitch. Swung on, fouled back.
Yeah, they're going to win every game.
Essentially, yeah.
And if the Mariners win 4 out of 3, including this is Game 7, they'd still have to go like 6-1.
No balls, 2 strikes on Robles, the hero. He's wearing his pink shoes again. Pink arm sleeve. Here's the pitch. Swung on, popped up. First base side, that's out of play. Those have become famous. I'm sure they'll be displayed in the Mariners Hall of Fame at some point.
I love Cal's comment after the game. All I saw was a blur of pink.
It was such an amazing play. Really saved the day. Here's the pitch. And strike 3 called. Robles goes down looking. De Los Santos faces the minimum here in the third. We go to the bottom of the inning. 7-0 Mariners on the Global Credit Union Mariners Radio Network. Gary Hill for my great friends at Fireside Home Solutions. We are ready for the colder weather thanks to our fireplaces from Fireside, and you can be
Great.
third day in a row. And really outside of that Pena grand slam yesterday, there just has not been a lot to cheer about for Astros fans in this series.
Mariners pitching has been outstanding, Gary.
Here's the pitch from Gilbert. He sends it over for a strike. He's ahead. No balls and a strike. They really have, and even that home run, it counts. It's a home run, but Crawford boxes variety. Not a lot you can do as a pitcher. He delivers. Breaking ball on the corner. And he's ahead. No balls, 2 strikes. Tucks in a slider right on the edge. Gilbert standing tall, first base side of the rubber. Here's the pitch to Cole. Down low. Cole getting the start in right field tonight. Right before the game, the Astros scratched Jeremy Pena, starting shortstop. An oblique issue. Here comes the offer. Swung on. That is blasted right field. That is going to go. How far? And it is gone over the Astros bullpen. Zach Cole, a solo home run. And the Astros take one back. It's now 7-1 Mariners.
With so many injuries to the Astros lineup this year, they call up Zach Cole, and man, he's been very, very impressive in a short period of time. That was a no-doubter way out to right center field by Cole. Third home run of the year. He had 19 in the minor leagues.
Here's Dubon. He was just given their minor league player of the year before this game. Dubon, the shortstop, taking the place of Pena, batting ninth. The pitch up and in. Backs off the plate. So the Astros have homered. Mariners have a couple of home runs. J.P. Crawford, a grand slam. Cal, of course, number 58. Here's the pitch. That's swung on, foul back. Cal due up third next inning. We're in the third. 7-1 Mariners. 1 ball, 1 strike. Logan from the belt. Goes into the pitch. Here it is. Swung on, popped up, and that's going to sail into the crowd out of play, first base side. Mariners an off day tomorrow after this 3-game series, so a chance to reset everything, especially the bullpen, before starting a series with the Rockies. Here's the pitch. That's down low. Did he go? Yes, he did. Went after the slider. Dubon swings. He strikes out. So there's one away. That's the first strikeout for Logan Gilbert, who's been one of the great strikeout pitchers this season in baseball. Tied with the highest strikeout rate for pitchers that have thrown at least as many innings, 120 innings, along with Zach Wheeler. Skubal is third, and Crochet after that. Top of the order, here's Altuve, who doubled his first time. The pitch from Logan. Swung on, popped up, and straight back out of play. 7-1 Mariners, third inning.
Altuve really doesn't alter his approach. He loves that first pitch.
He is swinging away. Logan deals. Slider just a touch inside. So 1 ball, 1 strike on Altuve. Astros wearing their navy tops. Astros across the front in orange. Navy helmets, white pants. Mariners in their Northwest green tops. Navy caps. Here comes the pitch. Swung on and missed. A beauty of a splitter. Had that kind of sideways downward action. It was bearing in Altuve. He cuts through and misses. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Logan has the Northwest green glove as he brings to his belt. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here comes the 1-2 to Altuve. That sails outside. A curveball that misses. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Logan takes a deep breath. A menacing goatee as he stares in. Nods his head up and down. Here comes the pitch. Swung on and fouled at home plate. Just got a piece of a splitter. Good spot, too, right at the bottom of the zone. That strikeout rate for Logan, that is tied with the highest in baseball. It's actually, right now, third highest in Mariners history in a season. Randy Johnson with the top 2, and then Logan. It's actually a great top 10 list. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. Swung on, chopped foul. It goes Randy Johnson, Logan, James Paxton, Randy Johnson, Paxton again, and then Logan again. That's the top 9.
Guess who pitched in the Savannah Bananas game last night?
I heard about this.
James Paxton.
Here comes the pitch. That's down low. So did Jamie Moyer.
And Jamie Moyer, too, yeah. How about that? I like they bring former players, major league players in now.
Paxton's actually not that far removed from taking the mound.
Exactly. Had a no-hitter in a Mariners uniform. Jamie was awesome for years.
I assume Jamie just threw up the changes. Probably not that different. Here's the 3-2. Just inside. He walks him. So Altuve has reached for the second time. Let's pause for station identification on the Global Credit Union Mariners Radio Network.
This is Mariners Baseball.
Welcome back to work here. Correa batting the pitch. And that's a strike. And the Mariners really don't want to open the door for the Astros here. They've pushed 1 run across. Now a runner at first base. Correa batting, 1 out. Mariners up by 6 here in the 3rd inning. Here's the pitch. Swung on, fouled away. Into the seats first base side. Good heat, 97 miles per hour. No balls, 2 strikes. And this is where Logan really shines. We'll see if he gives him the splitter. Maybe he goes back to the fastball. Let's find out. Here's the 0-2. Swung on, chopped foul. He went splitter and just a defensive swing. Just got a piece of it off the end of the bat to stay alive. 0-2. Logan twists around, looks at first base. Small lead by Altuve at first. Here's the offer. Bounced in. Good stop by Cal. Took it off the chest protector. They got a bit of his hand, too.
And Logan threw only 8 pitches in the first. Gary, 7 pitches in the second. And he's thrown a lot of pitches, right around 20 pitches here in the bottom of the 3rd, and still only 1 out.
Yeah, it's been a different inning. One ball, 2 strikes. Logan from the chest. Here's the pitch. Swung on, popped up. That's going to get into the seats. Cal races over, but he'll watch it into the stands. As we take a look at the Chevy Colorado scoreboard, just about everything is done. The Red Sox in Tampa Bay, and as we know, the Mariners just experienced this. Every game this time of year is a night game, so even on a Sunday. So they just started, and the Rays have a 3-0 lead over the Red Sox. Boston in the thick of it, holding the second wild card coming into tonight. Here comes the 1-2. Swung on. That is pulled foul. Got a pretty good piece of it in the second deck. The game most important to the Mariners already played today. The Mariners fighting for the 2nd seed in the postseason. Detroit, as we know, really stumbling down the stretch. They lost again tonight. 6-2 to Atlanta. Here's the pitch. Down low. It's been a big battle against Correa. So the Mariners, who came in with a 1-game lead over the Tigers for the 2nd seed, they can make it 2 if they win here. Getting a little separation. And the Mariners have the tiebreaker over the Tigers, so really it's 3. Here's the pitch. Swung on, fouled away. Now that's if the Mariners win this one. Logan really working in this inning. This is going to be pitch number 9 to Correa. Altuve at first base as Correa calls time. Amble's back into the box. Came up with the Astros, went to Minnesota, now back with Houston. Acquired at the deadline. Logan, ball behind his back. He's set. He deals 2-2. Strike 3 called, froze him. Steamed in a fastball at 97. Some serious heat. Strikeout number 2 for Logan. That's the second out here in the third. He needed that. That brings up Isaac Paredes, the DH. And now the entire infield going to talk this over with Logan. The other surprising aspect to today as we look at the Chevy Colorado scoreboard, the Guardians lost a game. They scored 2 runs in the first, did not score again, and the Twins won 6-2. I was starting to wonder if the Guardians were going to lose again.
They were playing like they weren't. I mean, they're as hot as the Mariners here toward the end of the season.
The Guardians have moved themselves into the third wildcard spot ahead of Houston because of the tiebreaker. With that loss, they're now a half game behind Houston. That could change if the Mariners beat the Astros, and once again, the Guardians would move back to the third wildcard spot. Although right now, I think the Guardians are thinking bigger than that. As we're ready to go here, Paredes standing in. Here comes the pitch. And it's a strike. This little cat and mouse game going on at first base as Naylor is standing right in front of Altuve everywhere he goes.
He's trying to stay in front of him.
Altuve takes the lead. No balls and a strike. Here comes the pitch. And Logan grunts a fastball low. 1 ball, 1 strike. Starting Tuesday, off days for just about everyone tomorrow, Cleveland and Detroit start a series with the division on the line. Here comes the pitch. Altuve takes off. That's swung on and yanked foul. That's into the seats third base side. He really turned on it. Paredes, scary in this ballpark. Just a dead pull hitter. Built for this park. Cleveland right now 1 game behind Detroit when they start that series on Tuesday.
Let's see if Logan makes a move to first base. Keeping an eye on Altuve.
1 ball, 2 strikes. 2 outs, 1 on. Mariners leading 7-1. A 7-run second inning that saw J.P. Crawford hit a grand slam and saw Cal Raleigh hit number 58. 58. Climbing closer to 60. Logan straightens up, ready. He deals. Swung on and missed. The bat goes pinwheeling next to Logan. The ball gets away from Cal. It goes to the backstop. Cal picks it up, but Paredes is going to be safe at first base. Cal is now gesturing at the dugout. He may want some sort of challenge. That was weird. As Paredes had no chance to hit the ball, he just threw the bat at it. Kind of a helpless cut. And I guess the question, maybe Cal is wondering if it was a foul ball or not.
And right now there doesn't seem to be a challenge. And man, that's tough. And Cal just couldn't find it.
I mean, you feel bad for Cal.
Yeah.
With the way that played out, with kind of the bat pinwheeling, that was really tough. Well, now there's runners on first and second. Sanchez batting, and Logan has a chance for 4 strikeouts this inning. He has 3 strikeouts in the inning. 2 aboard. Here comes the pitch. Swung on and missed.
No, that's the last thing he needed because he's throwing so many pitches here in the bottom of the third.
It's really too bad. He was so efficient in the first two. That's kind of what's saving the day. He's at 45 overall right now. He wants to end this inning right now. Here comes the pitch. Bounced in. Just really had to work. So is Cal, for that matter. Cal catching his third game in a row in this series. 1 ball, 1 strike. Mariners up by 6, but there's 2 aboard. Logan set from the chest. Here comes his pitch. Swung on, tagged to center field, hit well. Back is Julio, ranges in front of the track. Zucker's underneath, reaches up, makes the catch. Just in front of the track, and that's it for Houston here in the third. Logan had to work, but he just gives up 1 here in the inning. We go to the fourth. Mariners with the lead, 7-1 on the Global Credit Union Mariners Radio Network. On the hill for the Astros. Already the third pitcher for Houston. JP standing in. Here comes the first pitch, and he watches it low for a ball. You're with us inside the Western Washington Toyota radio booth. 7-1 Mariners. Mariners batted around in the second inning. Here's the pitch. That's a strike over the edge. Kind of a typical shift against JP. You have the shortstop standing nearly behind the bag at second, and then Correa, the third baseman, even with the bag at third, but shifted more towards the shortstop. Here's the pitch. Swung on, foul back. Blubaugh has spent a little time with the Astros this year, 9 games, a couple of starts. He's pitched well, a 2.16 ERA. Just 25 innings of work. He's asked to give them some innings. He's ready. Deals. Too high. That was a fastball at 93 miles per hour. So 2 balls, 2 strikes on JP. Here's the pitch. Swung on, cracked on one hop, diving stop, Dubon. He's in the grass, the throw to first base on one hop. It's in time to get JP. Spectacular play by Dubon. Looked like that was destined for left field. JP gets robbed. There's one away.
Not bad for a guy who told he was going to play shortstop before the game got underway. Jeremy Pena was in the starting lineup, but taken out with a sore side.
Yeah, Pena, tremendous defensive shortstop. Dubon's won a gold glove as well in his own right. In fact, right now, every infielder for the Astros has won a gold glove. Here's the pitch to Arozarena. That's a strike. Although, certainly, Altuve no longer a gold glover defensively, although he's won a gold glove. If you get the difference is what I'm driving at there. Here comes the pitch. That's a strike. No balls, 2 strikes on Arozarena. Cal is on deck. Here's the pitch. Swung on, chopped, popped up. Just behind the bag at first base. Walker, a little backpedal, is in short right field now. Twists around, makes the catch. And there's 2 away. And here comes Cal Raleigh. A low-flying rocket over the wall in right field his first time. 108 off the bat. 58th home run of the season. No bat here with the bases empty. Mariners on top 7-1. And Cal calls time before even the first pitch.
One more, Gary. He's going to tie Babe Ruth at 59 for the 4th highest total in the history of the American League. Ruth hit 59 in 1921. He had 60 in 1927. Imagine that being even with Babe Ruth anywhere in the list.
It's incredible. Here comes the pitch to him. He raises his arms and watches it over for a strike at 94 miles per hour. I mean, just the list of guys who have reached 58 is so short. Here's the pitch. Outside.
And again, we always have to add, as a catcher.
Yeah.
There's no catcher on the list except Cal right there, that high on the list.
Here comes the 1-1. Down low. Cal, the 11th hitter ever to reach 58 home runs in a season. He adjusts the batting gloves, climbs back in the box, batting from the left side against the righty. 2 balls, 1 strike. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed. He was going for it. That was a fastball letter high at 94. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Blue ball set to 2-2. Swung on and missed. Got him with the breaking ball. So Cal fans, it's a 1-2-3 inning here for the Mariners at the top of the 4th. We go to the bottom of the inning. Mariners still leading. It's 7-1 on the Global Credit Union Mariners Radio Network. Rewards.com. So Walker in the box here. Logan could use a fast inning. He threw 8 pitches in the first, 7 in the second. He steps into the pitch. Here it is. Swung on, line drive. That's a base hit into center field. Julio cuts it off in the gap. And Walker, a leadoff single. The premium matchup, you think about kind of the history between these two teams, the Mariners and the Astros. You think back to 2019. Astros 18-1 against the Mariners that season. Really dominated the season series between the two. And the next 3 seasons after that, the Astros winning the season series. Here's the pitch to Diaz. That's a strike. But the tide has turned between the two, at least head-to-head. Mariners winning the season series in 23, winning it in 24, and now last night guaranteeing winning the season series again. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed. Bad cut by Diaz out of the zone on a curveball. No balls, 2 strikes.
And another great stop by Cal Raleigh to keep the double play in order. That pitch was in the dirt, chased by Diaz. Keep Walker at first base.
Logan had 3 strikeouts last inning. 1 reached base on a wild pitch. No balls, 2 strikes. He delivers. Bounced in. Oh, Cal has really had to work tonight. And it's the 4th.
If the Kraken needs a goalie fill in, Cal would be the guy, man.
Well, he's got an off day tomorrow. I'm sure he can go over there. And
nothing gets by him, man. Nothing through the 5-hole.
Here comes the pitch. Swung on, broken bat, line drive right to Gino, snares it. Walker retreats back to the bag. That wasn't easy. An optical illusion as Gino made the catch with the ball as the bat was pinwheeling at him as well. Good concentration there from Gino. You think about the Mariners in this building as well. Starting in 23, the Mariners won the season series in this building against the Astros. They did it again in 24. Here comes the pitch. And that's low to Myers. This year, the Mariners and Astros are 3-3, all square in this building. So the Mariners, with a win tonight, would again, for the 3rd straight year, have the advantage in this building over Houston. Here's the 1-0. That's a strike. What they really want to do is they want to take the division from the Astros. That's what's at stake. Here's the 1-1 to Myers. Snaps off a slider in the dirt. Again, Cal makes the stop.
Logan likes to work down in the strike zone, and when he misses, that Cal is going to block it. So he gives him the conviction to throw that splitter down or the slider down in the strike zone. Get a ground ball out. Maybe double play and get out of the inning because he needs to save his pitch count right here.
55 pitches right now. Remember, the Mariners short in the back end of the bullpen tonight. Here's the pitch. Swung on. That is lasered center field. Julio ranging over. He's in the gap. He's on the track. Robles right there. Reaches out in front of him. Makes the catch in front of Julio. Walker runs back to first base. The out was recorded. And that's the good news. And they didn't collide. That's the other good news. That was
scary.
That was scary is the right word.
You got 3 center fielders of the Mariners outfield. You got Arozarena, Julio, and Robles. They all want the ball, and Robles is able to make the catch right in front of Julio.
There comes Zach Cole. The pitch. That's outside. So no harm, no foul. The out was made.
Yeah.
They didn't make contact.
You want to have that communication where you want to give one guy the leeway to get to it if you can hear them.
Cole homered last time. The pitch. A half cut, did he go? He did not. It's a fastball just off the plate. One of the great scenes from last night, if you watch the replay again, Julio's in a slide behind Robles, and when he realizes that Robles makes the catch, he's still in the slide as he throws his two arms up in the air. The 2-0 swung on. That is lifted. Center field, playable. Julio a couple steps over. He's under it, reaches up, makes the catch. That's a nice inning there from Logan Gilbert. After a leadoff single, retires the next three. He hangs a 0 here in the fourth. We move along to the fifth. Mariners with the lead 7-1 on the Global Credit Union Mariners Radio Network.
Why is Mazda of Everett the number one?
Great moments in baseball have been broadcast.
Tonight from Dyken Park. Night baseball on a Sunday evening. Mariners take off right after the game, head home. Off day tomorrow. They take on the Rockies on Tuesday night. 3 with the Rockies and 3 against the Dodgers to close out the regular season. Julio Rodriguez will lead off the top of the 5th inning. A.J. Blue Ball took over in the 4th inning. Delivers, swinging a hard hit ground ball to third. Up with the ball is Correa. The strong throw to first, and it's in time to get Julio. And one away for the Mariners right away here in the 5th. Little time is running out to come on board as a home stretch flex member. Members get first dibs on next week's postseason pre-sales and save 5% on tickets with no fees during the final homestand. But hurry, memberships are only available until 9 in the morning tomorrow at mariners.com/homestretch. Here's Josh Naylor, who started a 7-run rally with a bunt base hit. Correa playing way off the line, and Naylor shows bunt again, and he takes a pitch for a strike. 0-1, and Josh turns around and has a little conversation with home plate umpire tonight, Nate Tomlinson. Well, would he do it again? You got Correa way off the bag at third and back. Here's the stretch and the pitch to Naylor, swinging, ground ball, hard hit, foul up the first base line. And the count is now 0-2 on Josh. He batted twice in that top half of the second inning. Also flew out to Sanchez in left field. The Mariners batted around for all 7 runs on 7 hits, including a grand slam. J.P. Crawford's second grand salami. And another historic home run off the bat of Cal Raleigh, his 58th home run of the year. The look in by Blue Ball. The windup and the 0-2 on the way to Josh. Swinging a foul out of play in the third base side. Packed house here at Dyken Park. Home of the Astros since the 2000 season. Outfield almost straight away. Myers a little bit toward right center field, the center fielder. Now the stretch and the next pitch to Naylor. Swinging a drive deep to left field, but going back Sanchez near the 1-2 track, and he's there. Backpedals some more to make the catch for the second out of the inning. So 2 up and 2 down, and that'll bring up second baseman Ori Blanco at a base hit and field single, and scored one of the 7 runs in that 7-run second. Mariners lead by a score of 7-1. We're in the top half of the 5th. Mariners looking for a sweep to push the Astros farther back in the American League West. Mariners looking to lead the Astros by 3. Every game is a 2-game swing in this series. Here's the pitch. Inside on Polanco for ball 1. If you win, Mariners are 3 up, and if you don't, you're 1 up on the Astros right now with a 2-game lead over Houston in the West. Huge series. The pitch. Low and inside as Polanco backs away from ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. Polanco, 24 home runs on the year. Last 29 games, he's hitting .333. Now the stretch and the pitch. Swinging a foul back behind home plate. 2-1 the count. Mariners have won 13 of their last 14 games. And in the meantime, it's been a different story for the struggling Detroit Tigers. They lost again today to the Braves. Tigers have now lost 6 in a row. Here's the pitch. Swinging a fly ball into the gap, left center field. On the run, Sanchez is there to make the catch, and that's going to retire the side. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on. We head to the bottom of the 5th. Mechanics Bank scores. The Mariners 7, and the Astros 1. Cal is hit 4 home. Just tuned in. Welcome to a packed house here at Dyken Park in Houston, Texas. Leading things off, Mauricio Dubon getting to start at shortstop with the injured Jeremy Pena. Logan Gilbert, tall right-hander, the windup and the pitch to Dubon. Fastball is up high for ball 1. Logan had a quick bottom of the 4th inning, and he needed it because he threw 32 pitches, giving up but just the 1 run to the bottom of the 3rd. Close at third base is Suarez. Now the windup and the 1-0. Low and outside. Ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. You want to keep the crowd out of it, and the Mariners have the opening 2 games of this 3-game series, and also tonight. Now the windup and the 2-0 pitch is over for a strike. The count is now 2-1. Logan last outing, the 12-5 win in Kansas City. And he hung in there in his previous start at home against St. Louis. thanks to Cal Raleigh. Here's the pitch on the way. Swinging a chopper towards short, cutting across Suarez. He's got it. Gino's throw is in time to get Devon over at first base. Strong throw by Gino, and 1 out for the Astros here in the bottom of the 5th inning. To give you the value, and we've talked about it all season long about Cal Raleigh, you know, there's the home runs and the RBIs and just having a super year, historic year offensively, but it's what he does behind the plate. Not only just catching, blocking pitches, throwing runners out, it's getting pitchers through tough innings. And I go back to Logan's start at home against St. Louis. Here's the pitch to Jose Altuve. Likes that first pitch. He swings at it, bounces it foul. Past the third base coach for the Astros, and the count is 0-1 on Altuve, who has doubled and walked in his first 2 at-bats. But in that start against the Cardinals at home, the Cardinals loaded the bases with nobody out, and Cal had to call time a few times. Here's the pitch on the way. It's up and away on Altuve for ball 1 ball and 1 strike. And he got Gilbert through that inning, and Logan eventually struck out the side without the Cardinals scoring a run. So obviously, great work by Logan to get out of the inning. Here's a pitch on the way up and in, and that hits Altuve in the helmet. So Altuve hit by a pitch. He never went down. He just kind of bounces around up the third base line. And now, wait a second. Altuve coming back. Did it hit the bat? The home plate umpire, Nate Tomlinson, is having a conversation with Joe Espada, the manager for the Houston Astros. And Altuve said it got me in the arm on his pad. And Tomlinson is thinking maybe he heard that it was a foul ball off the bat.
It definitely got him on the pad. There's no question it got him on the pad.
He was able to get his head out of the way. He did the right thing. He tucked and turned to his right. And that was scary. It was a pitch way up and in, and we get a chance to look at it. And yeah, that got him on the elbow pad as we look at the replay. No doubt about it. It was not a foul ball, but what Tomlinson heard was the ball hitting the pad, and it sounded like a foul ball, so he thought it was a foul ball. It's not. There's a replay review. Houston's going to win this. So Altuve already is on at first base. We still need word from the umpire in Manhattan. Here we go. And, yeah, he was hit by the pitch.
Yeah, umpire just missed that one.
Yeah. We get a look at it again, but, wow, those elbow pads are worth their weight in gold. So Altuve is on for the 3rd time, the hard way, 1 on, 1 away. And that'll bring up Carlos Correa. But I hope the writers who vote for the MVP award take Cal Raleigh and his defense into big consideration. Here's Correa swinging, high fly ball, left field, shallow, coming in. Randy Rosarena toward the line. Randy's there, stops, pops, makes the catch. So, 2 outs for Houston here at the bottom of the 5th inning. St. Friends limited tickets remain for the regular season finale at T-Mobile Park. Don't miss your chance to see Cal and the Mariners take on Ohtani and the defending World Series champion Dodgers next weekend, September 26th to the 28th. Go to Mariners.com/tickets to secure your seats today. Here's Isaac Paredes coming over from the Chicago Cubs during the offseason in that big trade for Kyle Tucker. A stretch and a toss over to first base. Altuve back to the bag. Altuve was trying to steal his last time on back in the 3rd inning. Not a bad idea from Logan. 1 on, 2 away. Mariners lead 7-1, bottom of the 5th. Here is the stretch, and now the pitch to Paredes is over for a strike. 0-1. We had Logan for 59 pitches through 4 innings, and right now he's at 67. And the Astros really got his pitch count up with 32 pitches in the bottom of the 3rd inning alone. Now the stretch and the 0-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. Goes flailing at a curveball. And the count is now 0-2 on Paredes, who likes to pull the ball. And when you throw a breaking ball down and away, he's got to reach for it, and that takes away his power because he gets out on that front foot. Then you're swinging with just your arms instead of staying behind the ball and driving it. Let's see what Logan and Cal have in mind for Paredes right here with an 0-2 count. Altuve again a lead at first, held on by Naylor. 7-1 Mariners. Bottom of the fifth. Mariners looking for a sweep. Looking to gain even more ground on the Detroit Tigers. For that second berth, they already lost again to the Atlanta Braves. Logan ready. Altuve lead the stretch, and the 0-2 pitch on the way to Paredes. There goes Altuve, a strike, and the throw down to second, not in time. Make it a ball. It was down and away, 1-2 the count on Paredes, and a stolen base for Altuve. His 10th of the year. Cal Raleigh with a good throw, but Altuve had a good jump. Polanco taking the throw, and Altuve gets in there. So 1-2 the count on Paredes. Gilbert looking for a strikeout. Here's the stretch. And a turnaround, and look, but no throw. And Altuve made a little bit of a break toward third. One step to his right, then he turned around and got back to the bag. Altuve going to lead at second. Here's the set. And now the 1-2 pitch, low and outside in the dirt again, and another stop by Cal. Ball two, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Jesus Sanchez is due up next, but Logan looking to end the inning here in the bottom of the fifth. The look in by Logan, fires away. Breaking ball, swing, and a bounce foul right inside the Mariners' third base dugout. The count is still even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Well, Mike Trout last night for the Angels with a big home run in Denver against the Rockies, his 400th career home run. Here's the set by Logan, and the 2-2 on the way. Swing and a well-hit ball down the left field line, but it's hooking foul. And the count is still even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. There was a fan who caught the ball in Colorado, and he made a barehanded catch. He had a glove on, but made a barehanded catch. And he wanted one thing. He just wanted to play catch with Mike Trout. He gave Trout his historic 400th career home run ball. Here's the pitch. Swinging a line drive, foul down the left field line, and the count is still even on Paredes at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Well, he got 3 signed bats and a cap, and came down to the clubhouse and had a chance to play catch with Mike Trout. That's what he wanted, to turn in Trout's 400th career home run ball. And he's at the ballpark today. He was wearing an Angels cap. Gilbert looking for a big strikeout. The set, and again the 2-2 to Paredes, swinging a pop-up. Foul on the third base side near the dugout. Racing over on the 1-inch track. Tino's there, and he makes the catch, and that will retire the side. Another scoreless inning under the bell of Logan Gilbert, and we go to the top of the 6th. Mechanics Bank score. It's the Mariners 7 and the Astros 1.
Chevy truck.
Mariners been kind of quiet the last couple of innings offensively. They put all 7 runs on the board in the second inning. Gino going to lead things off. He's had a very good night, a single and a walk. He's been red hot. Mariners batted around in the second inning. Blue ball still on the hill. He's pitched well. Here comes the pitch to Gino. That's a strike. One thing to keep in mind, the starter for the Astros, Jason Alexander, who'd been on a good roll, he actually allowed 4 earned runs in September coming in. Mariners chased him early. Here's the pitch. That swung on and missed. No balls, 2 strikes. In fact, Alexander's last 8 starts, an ERA just a touch over 2. You wouldn't have known it by the way the Mariners treated him tonight. The pitch. Bounced in, not close. Meanwhile, Blue Ball, the third pitcher used by the Astros, he's gone 2 clean innings. No hits, no runs. 1 strikeout. Logan on the other side has pitched 5 innings, 1 run allowed. Here's the pitch. That's up and in. Logan at 75 pitches, so you figure at least 1 more for Logan tonight. We looked at the bullpen, and Hancock's kind of milling around out there. Here's the 2-2. That's high. 3 balls, 2 strikes. You figure Hancock will play a role in tonight when you look at how the bullpen lines up. We figure no Bizzardo, no Munoz for sure. They both pitched 3 games in a row. The 3-2. Swung on. That is lasered right center field. Cole racing over. He's right there. He makes the catch in the gap. 1 out.
Emerson would be a great choice to give you a couple of innings. Get you farther down the road in this ball game. Put this thing away later on.
I'm guessing at the very least, even if Spire's available, I'm sure they'd like to stay away from Spire, who's pitched at 4 of 5. And granted, just 3 pitches last night, but still. 3 great pitches last night, by the way. 3 fastballs just right past Walker. That was a really key out when you look back at that ball game. Here's Dom Canzone, the pitch. There's a breaking ball over the corner for a strike.
But then it's also the up and downs and the pitches that you throw in the bullpen to get ready, and they all add up. But, man, he was something. Needed a big out, and he got it right away.
Brash did not pitch yesterday. He'd be available today. The pitch is up and away. Ferguson available as well. Not a lot of lefties in this lineup for the Astros. Blue ball comes set. Here's the pitch. Swung on and fouled straight back. That was a heater elevated just above the top rung of the strike zone. 7-1 Mariners, 6th inning. J.P. Crawford, a grand slam. Cal Raleigh, 58th home run of the season. Here's the pitch. Off the plate. Missed with a changeup that just dances outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Gary, do you hear that?
I know. I was thinking the same thing.
It's really quiet.
It is, and it has been. Here's the pitch. Swung on, a couple hopper right to first base. Walker, 3-time Gold Glover, takes it to the bank. He just beats Canzone there. And there's 2 away. Great to have you with us inside the Western Washington Toyota radio booth. 7-1 Mariners. Mariners off day tomorrow. Well-deserved off day for the Mariners. Especially with how late the Mariners will be arriving back in Seattle tonight. Or tomorrow morning, depending on how you look at it. Victor Robles will stand in.
Satchel's going to be happy to see you.
Yeah, Satchel will be sound asleep by the time I get home. Here's the pitch. Swung on. That hits pretty well to center field. Backing up is Myers. Still backing up. A little back pedal in front of the track. He makes the catch. And the Mariners go 1-2-3 in the 6th inning. We move along to the bottom of the 6th. Mariners leading 7-1 on the Global Credit Union Mariners Radio Network.
Hometown favorite Home Street is now Mechanics Bank, forming the premier bank on the West Coast and
And to lead things off. Tigers have lost today as we take a look at the Chevy Colorado scoreboard. So the Mariners trying to open up a 2-game lead on Detroit for the 2nd seed in the American League. Here comes the pitch. That's inside. Cleveland has lost. So currently at this moment, Houston has the final wild card spot. If Houston loses this game, Cleveland will jump them. So if you're wondering how the American League looks right now, here comes the pitch. Swung out, popped up a mile high behind home plate. Cal off with the mask. He's racing back. He's going to watch it into the seats about 5 rows back. So if the playoffs started right now, this is how it lines up. You'd have the Astros, the 6th seed, against the Tigers, the 3rd seed. The winner would play the 2 seed, which would be the Mariners. The Mariners would get a bye in the first round. So they would play the winner of the Astros or the Tigers. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed. Oh, the beauty of the splitter as he swings through. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Tigers have some work to do to keep the 3 seed as well, because Cleveland, just a game back to try and get the division, they will start a series on Tuesday. So that one is undecided. Right now, the Yankees have the 4 seed. The Red Sox have the 5 seed. They would play, and the winner would play the Blue Jays, who have the 1 seed. Here's the pitch. And that bounces in and bounces away. And if you're wondering where the Mariners are at in relation to the Blue Jays and the 1 seed, they're 3 games back. But the Blue Jays have the tiebreaker, so it's 4 games, which makes it
tough,
pretty unlikely.
Yeah. But go get the Tigers. Stay in front of the Tigers.
Yes, that's the key. The 2-2. Swung on line, drive left field. Randy Arozarena racing over. He's right there, leans down, makes the catch. Puts it away on the move for the first out here in the 6th.
That was a nice catch because it's off the bat of a left-handed hitter like Sanchez. That ball is slicing toward the line, and Randy had a great jump on it. Got there in time to make the catch.
Yeah, the reason we talk about the top 2 seeds so much is, 1, you get a bye. 2, you got home field after the bye as well.
That's 5 days off.
Yeah.
To reset the pitching, get Brian healthy.
Here's Christian Walker. Logan steps into the pitch. Here it is. That's a strike over the corner. I mean, you think about it. Let's just say that the Astros and Tigers play in that series. I mean, what if the Tigers have to use Skubal twice, or Astros have to use Brown twice just to get to the Mariners series?
That's why it was tough.
Make a difference.
Absolutely. That's why it was tough when the Mariners had to play the 1-game play-in game against the Angels. They had to use Randy Johnson. Because you got to get to the playoffs, to the postseason.
Here comes the pitch from Logan. Half cut. He went around. That's a strike. And especially now with kind of the uncertainty of the Wu situation, you'd like as much time as possible to give him to hopefully be ready.
In 1995, Gary, things were so up in the air with the starting pitching.
Here's the 0-2. That bounced in.
Because in the division series, they had used Randy in relief. And guess who started Game 1 of the American League Championship Series? The guy that wasn't even on the playoff roster. postseason roster, Bob Walcott.
Which is not ideal.
Not ideal, no. And he did great. He won the game.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Bottom of the 6th, 7-1 Mariners. Logan at 83 pitches. He steps into it. Here it is. Swung on off the very end of the bat. Stays alive. So that's how the playoff picture looks right now, but there's still a week to go, so a lot could change. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed. Strikeout for Logan Gilbert. 4th punch out of the ball game. That's the 2nd out here in the 6th. He's just looked very comfortable for most of the night. A little different start. We haven't seen a lot of strikeouts in this one, but plenty of soft contact along the way. And he's 1 out away from getting through the 6th. Here's Diaz, the catcher. Still 85 pitches as well, so he has some more room to operate with. He delivers. Swung on. Little slow roller first base side, dribbles foul. And the starting pitching in this series. The starters for the Mariners have allowed 1 earned run. The home run off of Logan in the 3rd. That's been it. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed. As much as the offense has been such a big part of the story in this series, because we've seen it's been a really good offensive series as well for the Mariners. Now you think about everything the rotation has been through this year, with the missed time, the injuries, everything else. It looks like they may be peaking at the right time. Here's the pitch. That bounces in. And we're all hoping for the best with Wu, obviously.
23 innings by the starters the last 4 games. And as you mentioned, 1 run, that home run by Cole here in the bottom of the 3rd of this one.
Mariners have won 13 of their past 14 games. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Logan trying to go 1-2-3. Here's the pitch to Diaz. Swung on, fouled away. An emergency swing. That was break glass, and he just got a piece of it.
Seen some funny swings with the splitter and his curveball. And he's doing a good job staying down and away from the right-handed hitters because those Crawford boxes are so close and left.
1 ball, 2 strikes. And time taken by Cal. He's going to walk out and talk to Logan. Fans booing. Fans have been very restless tonight. Little ornery group.
I love it, though, when Cal calls a timeout. There's a reason, there's a purpose to it. And good things always seem to happen when he goes out to visit with a pitcher, just for a little breather, if anything.
Yeah, the rotation in these 3 games. One of the things that really stands out: 18 strikeouts, 2 walks from the 3 guys. So Cal will get back behind home plate. Logan climbs back on the hill. This will be pitch number 90 for Logan Gilbert. Carlos Vargas is up in the bullpen just in case. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Logan into the motion, deals. Swung on, popped up. That's out of play. Diaz really putting up a fight. He's fouled off some really good pitches. That was a curveball. One ball, 2 strikes. Logan ready. Rocks, deals. Swung on, line drive, 1 hop right to shortstop. JP smothers it, fires to first. That's the out. It's a 1-2-3 inning, and Logan Gilbert has taken the baton tonight, and he has been excellent against the Astros. Starting pitching has been dynamite in this series. Logan Gilbert, 6 innings of 1-run ball. That's the only earned run starters have allowed.
Great moments in baseball have been broadcast on the radio since 1921.
Smith corks one into right down the line. It may go. Go crazy, folks. Go crazy. It's a home run, and the Cardinals have won the game by the score of 3-2 on a home run by the Wizard.
Gilbert's only allowed 1 run through 6. Astros on their 4th pitcher as Kimbrel will take over here. We've seen him in the series already. Naylor hit a home run on Kimbrel in this series. With the Astros this year, his 12th game in ERA at 3. He'll face J.P. Crawford. Had the grand slam in the 2nd inning. The pitch to him is inside for a ball. The Mariners in the recent weeks, they have seen now number 4 and number 5 on the all-time saves list. Kimbrel being number 5, 440 career saves. Here's the pitch. Swung on, fouled off. Kenley Jansen, who pitches for the Angels, who the Mariners have seen a couple times this year, he's 4th on the career save list. Jansen's still the closer for the Angels. Kimbrel's kind of bounced around as more of a setup kind of guy. Here comes the pitch. It's a bit high. Fastball at 93, not quite at what it used to be. Kimbrel pitched 1 game for Atlanta this year. Of course, that's where he broke in. Started his career with Atlanta, first 5 seasons. 4 times an All-Star in his first 5 years. Here's the 2-1. Swung on and missed. Kimbrel has really bounced around the past few years. Cubs, White Sox, Dodgers, Phillies, Baltimore, Atlanta, Houston. A couple of those I didn't really remember.
There's a lot.
Like the White Sox stint I kind of forgot about.
Yeah.
Here's the pitch. Swung on a miss. Got him on a high fastball. That's 1 away. Here's Randy Arozarena. He singled and scored in the 2nd inning. Cal is on deck. Cal swatted number 58 earlier tonight. Mariners leading 7-1. Looking for the sweep. Here comes the pitch. That's a strike on the corner. Looks like Ferguson getting loose in the Mariners bullpen. Yeah, we can't see the bullpen from here. It's kind of behind garage doors just off the side of the Crawford boxes. It looks like We can kind of see the pitchers a little bit as they watch the game on bleachers. Here's the pitch that swung out and missed, but it looks like they're kind of zoo animals. They're just they're in a cage as we see them.
We see bodies, but we don't know who they are.
We can't tell who they are. We can't see anyone throwing. So, fortunately, they give us a monitor where we can look and see who's throwing, and we see Ferguson. And the Mariners have done this for the past few weeks. Here's the pitch that goes up and over Arozarena all the way to the backstop. It was just over his head. So, Arozarena climbs back into the box. Astros have been hit a few times in this series. Here comes the 1-2 off the plate. You look out to the bullpen, and what the bullpen pitchers have been doing, they've been hanging Trent Thornton's jersey everywhere they go. So as Ferguson is throwing right now, the back wall behind him has Trent's jersey, number 46, hanging there. And time taken, no pitch clock violation, looks like, on Kimbrel, right before he was going to deliver the pitch. So full count now, 3 balls, 2 strikes. Honor the Trent, who of course tore his Achilles, sadly, earlier this season. So we've seen him a couple times, but whenever he doesn't show up, they like to hang his jersey out there in his honor. Here's the 3-2. Swung on, fouled back.
Then earlier this year, he had the appendicitis, had the surgery, and man, what a tough year.
He nearly passed out on the mound one game.
Chicago, Wrigley Field, it was so hot.
Rough year.
Man, it really felt for him. He was pitching really well, too.
3 balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. Strike 3 called. That was a fastball, bottom corner. So Randy goes down on strikes. And there's 2 away, and here comes Cal. Cal, a 2-run home run in the second inning, number 58, as he stands in here. Could we be talking about 59 in a moment as Kimbrel comes set? Here comes the pitch to Cal. Swung on a miss. He was fooled. That was a sweeper darting down in near the shoe tops. No balls and a strike.
At 59, he'll tie the Bambino Babe Ruth for the 4th highest total for home runs in the American League.
No balls, a strike, 2 outs. Mariners on top by 6. Here's the pitch. Too high. 94 miles per hour from Kimbrel. Still has the red beard. Still goes through the same exact motion. Bent at the waist. Arm kind of hangs there off to the side. He is set. The 1-1 to Cal. Swung on and missed. That fastball had some good action to it, tailing away from him. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Cal calls time. Cal adjusts the white batting gloves. Nods at the umpire. Back into the box. Pinwheels the bat around. Kimbrel set from the chest. Here comes his 1-2 to Cal Raleigh. Too high. 7-1 Mariners, 7th inning. Kimbrel, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch to Cal. Inside. Dances out of the way. Another sweeper. This one too far inside. Full count now. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Full count. Kimbrel set from the chest. Here's the pitch. Swung on, fouled back. Got a fastball on the corner. Cal fights it off. Mariners 7 runs, 7 hits. Houston 1 run on 3. Full count, 3 balls, 2 strikes. Kimbrel ready. He deals to Cal. Swung on an emergency swing. He fouls it back, and that almost got a piece of Robles in the on-deck circle. Careful. I mean, Julio in the on-deck circle. Fortunately missed him. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Kimbrel set. Here's the pitch to Cal. Swung on, popped up. That's out of play. It's a good fight. This is going to be pitch number 9 to Cal. Fighting with one of the all-time great closers this game has seen. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch to Cal. Swung on and missed, and Kimbrel wins the battle. Got him on a sweeper. He strikes out the side. Mariners go down in order. We go to the bottom of the 7th. M still on top. It's 7-1 on the Global Credit Union Mariners Radio Network.
Alaska Airlines, the official
at home. Will he get to 60? Will he get to 62? We'll find out. Hopefully you'll find out at T-Mobile Park when we get back home starting Tuesday. Where will the Mariners be? Will they win the division at home? Will they clinch the 2 seed? Those are out there for the Mariners. But if they can hold on here, they'll certainly be coming home with the wind at their backs. Looking to complete the sweep against the Astros tonight. Jake Myers going to lead things off for Houston against Ferguson. First pitch swinging, bounding ball right to third base. Gino has it, sets his feet, fires across in time. That's the out, one away. First out of the 7th. That's a good start. One pitch, one out. case you're wondering, as the Mariners wrap up against Colorado and the Dodgers, the Astros will hit the road. This is their final home game of the regular season. Cole will bat. He has the home run. The only run for Houston. The pitch is a touchdown low. So the Astros will hit the road, and they'll take on the A's and the Angels. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed. Big series Mariner fans will be paying attention to. The Tigers will be on the road the rest of the season. Here's the pitch. Swung on. Hot shot. That's through. A base hit into right field. Picked up by Robles. Quickly gets it in. So Cole, a single. There's one out. That brings up Dubon. Tigers will play Cleveland for 3. The division on the line in that series. Just one game separating them right now. And then Detroit heads to Boston for 3 to end their regular season at Fenway Park. So that's no easy task. Here's the pitch. Swung on, fouled away. Boston has a tough end to the season as well. They'll play at Toronto and then hosting Detroit. Ferguson, the high hold. Here comes the pitch. That's a touch upstairs. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, 1 on. 7-1 Mariners, 7th inning. Good thing for the Mariners, too. They hold the tiebreaker over most teams in the playoff mix. Ferguson set. Here's the pitch. Swung on, line drive, left field base hit. Well, Houston making some noise here. A couple of singles with 1 out, and that brings up Jose Altuve. Carlos Vargas is ready in the bullpen for the Mariners. Pena, the usual leadoff man, was scratched right before the ballgame with an oblique injury. Astros general manager said on the radio show before the game they're just expecting it to be a couple-day issue. But out of the lineup tonight, that's a big loss in the Astros lineup. So Altuve has had a good day. He's doubled, he has walked, he's been hit by a pitch. He's also stolen a base. Mariners a 6-run lead, but as we saw last night, that can evaporate fairly quickly. Mariners had a pretty big lead last night that was cut to just 2, but the Mariners held on for the win. Here's the pitch. Altuve shows bunt, tries to bunt, and fouls it away. He was going for the element of surprise.
That was close to being an out. If that ball would hit him in fair territory in front of home plate, they could have called him out.
Ferguson ready. Here comes his pitch. Swung on and missed. A wild hack. Letter high at a cutter. No balls, 2 strikes.
He doesn't get cheated, does he?
No. And that... Let's see if they try that again. No balls, 2 strikes. Ferguson. Here's the pitch. Blown away. They tried the cutter again. Oh, that could have been called a strike. Looked like it got the bottom corner. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out, 2 on. Mariners up by 6. We're in the 7th inning. Ferguson, the high hold, ready. Delivers. A half cut, did he go around? The ball gets away from Cal Raleigh near the Astros dugout. Both runners go, and he did not go. Wild pitch. Cole at third. Dubon at second. That was unfortunate. Oh, Altuve went for sure. Wow. How was that not strike 3?
Yeah, Bruce Streckman missed that first base.
Wow. That was a big miss. Okay, here comes the pitch. Up and in. Tried to get a fastball by him, 94 miles per hour. Things get a little too interesting here in the 7th inning. Altuve climbs back in. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Crowd making noise really for the first time tonight. Mariners a 6-run lead. Runners take their leads at second and third. Ferguson set. Here comes the pitch. Swung on, line drive, base hit, right field. Cole's going to score. DeBon will hold up at third base. The throw-in is cut off, and the Astros now a run back. Runners on the corners. One away. It's now 7-2 Mariners. That missed strikeout comes back to haunt the Mariners here. Here comes Dan Wilson. Vargas is ready. With Correa, the righty, up. Paredes, the righty, to follow. He'll go get Vargas. So, 1 run on the board, 2 runners on. 7-2 Mariners. We'll come back with more right after this on the Global Credit Union Mariners Radio Network.
Chevy trucks have you covered when the road takes you from smooth sailing.
Astros close, but the Mariners held on for the win. Right now, the Mariners lead 7-2. Runners on the corners, 1 out. Vargas delivers. That's down low. The difference between last night and tonight, no Munoz, no Bizzardo, maybe no Spire. All those guys came up big last night. Here's the pitch. Swung on, ground ball to shortstop. Could be 2. JP, underhand toss to 1. Polanco is relayed to first. In time, double play. That is exactly what Vargas wanted. Gets the double play, puts water on the fire, and that's it for the Astros in the 7th. They get 1, but no more. We go to the 8th. Mariners lead 7-2 on the Global Credit Union Mariners Radio Network.
Toyota of Kirkland and Toyota Renton are getting in on the playoff.
Julio 1 for 3 on the night. He had a line drive single to center back in that 7-run second inning. The stretch and the pitch. Over for a strike, 0-1. The Mariners scoring all 7 of their runs back in the second. The big hits, a grand slam, grand salami by J.P. Crawford, a 2-run home run by Cal Raleigh, his 58th home run of the year. And a bases-loaded walk. Here's the pitch, and a swing and a miss by Julio, and the count is now 0-2. That big inning started with just good at-bats. A bunt single by Josh Naylor, then an infield base hit by Polanco. Suarez hit a rope into right field for a base hit. Tom Canzone, a 5-2 fielder's choice. Robles with a bases-loaded walk. Then the Mariners brought out the big sticks. The home runs by Crawford and Cal Raleigh. The stretch and the 0-2 way outside. Julio for ball 1 ball. And 2 strikes. Man, he's had a great second half. Last 62 games, hitting .310, 20 of his 31 home runs, 50 of his 94 runs batted in. Hitting the fastball, hitting the off-speed pitches. The 1-2, high and outside, ball 2, 2 balls and 2 strikes. You don't see Julio chasing pitches out of the strike zone. He's making pitchers come into the zone, and he's tattooed them. Hernandez works from the third base side of the rubber, looks for that angle on a right-handed hitter. Here's the pitch. Swing and a foul off the glove of the catcher, Diaz. And the count is still even on Julio at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Mariners have played some great defense. Julio back up there. He'd like to park one over the Crawford boxes in left field like he did 2 nights ago to start things off. The pitch. Swing and a foul tip into Diaz's glove for strike 3. So the Mariners with 1 out here in the top of the 8th inning, lead 7-2, and the batter will be Josh Naylor. Naylor 1 for 3, the bunt single that started that rally in the second. He's also flied out twice to Sanchez in left field.
Mariners, all 7 runs, all 7 hits were in the same inning.
Yeah. Nothing in the first or the third inning on. Here's the pitch to Naylor. Check swing, gets a strike. 0-1. No doubt about it. Naylor, one of the best trade deadline acquisitions. Got a big smile on his face talking with Diaz, the catcher for the Astros. And now Josh back up there. The look in by Hernandez. Fires away. Fastball low and outside. Ball 1, 1-1 the count. Naylor now with 20 home runs and 88 runs batted in. With Cleveland last year, 31 home runs, 108 RBIs. Had a huge year. Wound up in Arizona. Here's the next offer. Swinging a pop-up out of play behind home plate. And the count is now 1-2 on Naylor. 2 nights ago, when the Mariners hit 4 home runs, Josh had the 4th one of the night. Long home run to right field. That was in the 8th inning of that game. Home runs by Julio, by Gino, by Victor Robles, and Naylor. Super pitching by Brian Wu. After 5 innings, had to come out of the game with inflammation in his pec muscle. And we're still keeping our fingers crossed and hoping that Brian is going to be all right. But he hasn't been placed on the IL, so that's a good sign. Mariners have a day off tomorrow at home. Now the set by Hernandez, and the right-handers 1-2 on the way to Naylor. Here she comes. Inside for ball 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. This guy has a good idea of the strike zone. Mariners 4-1 on this road trip. Last 2 trips weren't too kind, but man, the Mariners have turned things around, winning 13 of their last 14 games during that stretch, a 10-game streak. Here's a swing and a drive deep into the gap in right center field. Myers on the run, can't get to it. It's on the track, bounces all the way to the wall. Naylor will coast into second base with a 1-out double. Hit a rope into the gap in right center field. Myers can cover a lot of ground, but he couldn't get to that one. So the Mariners would love to add on to their 7-2 lead here in the top of the 8th inning.
Yeah, their first hit since the second inning.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
And Gary, that was a pitch about a foot up and out of the strike zone, and Josh was able to go up and get those hands up there. Tattoos it way into the gap in right center field. Here's Jorge Polanco. Yeah. A lot of runs, still not enough sometimes. Here's the stretch, the pitch to Polanco, swinging a foul off his foot, and he goes down in a heap, down on both knees, and man, he is hurting. Off his foot, and he's some kind of pain right now. Here comes Dan Wilson right away out of the dugout, along with Kevin Orlowski, one of our trainers. Man, this is one guy the Mariners have to have the entire way. I think it got him right above where he has this guard around that wraps high above his right ankle. Either that or got him right on the toe. They're being looked at by one of the Mariner trainers along with Dan Wilson. You know what? How about Dan Wilson? Here are the Mariners in first place in the American League West. His first full season as a big league manager. I mean, last year he was working with us up here on the radio and on TV on Tuesdays. He was helping out in the organization, going around to the minor league clubs, working with the catchers like he did at young Cal Raleigh years ago. Takes the job on August the 22nd last year, along with Edgar Martinez as its hitting coach. They had Seitzer and Magiatis this year, all doing a great job. And the Mariners right now are 86 and 69 on top in the West. He has done a fabulous job as the skipper of the ball club. When he took over in August of last year, the Mariners were 21 and 13 with Dan as their new manager. Now Polanco says he's okay, but he calls time and he steps away from the batter's box again to take a few practice swings to feel a little bit better. Now he's back in there. 0-1 the count on Polanco. Hernandez a look back at Naylor. He's bouncing around. He's heading for third. Now he stops, goes back to the bag, and now Hernandez steps off the rubber. But Josh Naylor bouncing around the bag to shortstop. Devon stayed behind Naylor. But Josh is so good at getting that big lead, bouncing around with that lead. A huge walking lead. He's bouncing around, he stays. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss by Polanco to breaking ball. And the count is now 0-2.
He also pays very close attention to everything the pitcher is doing, everything the catcher is doing, and is willing to pass that information on from time to time.
By sticking an arm out or making some kind of signal. And now Devon breaks in behind him and takes a throw from Hernandez, and Naylor gets back to the bag.
That's the second disengagement. So now he can get really bouncy at second base.
So let's see. If he tries to take an extra base right here, he's already in scoring position. Blanco's been hitting the ball hard. The stretch and the pitch. Swinging a line drive down the right field line. It's a foul ball. In toward the corner, but foul, and the count is still 0-2. Blanco's foot is still barking.
Looks like Naylor's picking up on something, too. Looks like he's helping out Polanco. A couple pitches here.
Yeah, now he's got his arm in the air. Here's the pitch on the way. Swinging a line shot, fouled on the right field side again. He was on that inside pitch. Hit it hard, and the count is still 0-2. A lot of times these guys aren't too obvious. I mean, they're not very obvious. Or very obvious, I should say. And there's the arm up by Naylor. Here's the pitch on the way now. Swinging a foul back by Polanco, and the count is still 0-2 as the fastball that was up. He's giving semaphore. He just needs a flag on one of those hands.
That's the thing. It's very obvious.
Very. 1 on, 1 away. Mariners looking at on. They lead 7-2, top of the 8th. Here's the stretch, and again, the 0-2 pitch to Polanco. Swing and a fly ball into the gap in right center field. Going back to the ball is Myers. He's there to make the catch. Tagging at second, heading for third is Naylor. He'll make it easily. The long throw in by Myers. And now Josh is on at third base with 2 outs, and no doubt about it, Naylor was letting Polanco know where the location was. So that'll bring up Gino, looking for a big RBI right here. Mariners lead by 7. You can't score enough against this team in this ballpark. 7-2 Mariners. They've out-hit the Astros 8-6. Mariners looking for a sweep. Gino 1 for 2 with a solid base hit. in the second. Here's the pitch, swung on and popped high in the air to shallow right field. Coming in is Cole on the run. Cole is there, and he makes the catch, and that's going to retire the side. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning here in Houston. Our Mechanics Bank score, it's the Mariners 7 and the Astros 2. At the bottom of the 8th inning, he'll be followed by Jesus Sanchez and then Christian Walker. Carlos Vargas back out there. Here's the pitch. In there for a strike, 0-1. Vargas came on when the Astros started to kick up their heels a little bit. They had 3 consecutive hits with 1 out, scored a run to make it 7-2. Here's the stretch and the next offer. Check swing. It's outside. The fastball. Ball 1-1. Ball and 1 strike. But he got Carlos Correa to hit into an inning-ending 6-4-3 double play. It's a lot of ground ball outs. Infield back on the left side for Paredes. Here's the pitch. Swung on. Fly ball well hit to left field, and this one is out of here. Goodbye, baseball. Paredes with his first home run since coming off the IL a couple of days ago. His 20th home run of the season. He likes to pull the ball, and he did. Off of Carlos Vargas, and it's now the Mariners 7 and the Astros 3.
Matt Brash is getting loose for the Mariners right now.
Bottom of the 8th inning, nobody out. You don't want to open up the door at all against this Houston ball club. Mariners now lead by 4. Here's Jesus Sanchez. Left-handed hitter 0 for 3 on the night. Vargas the set. Fires away, and it's high and outside off the glove of Cal Raleigh. Hits off the backstop and hits the back of the home plate umpire, Nate Tomlinson. Ball 1. Astros have had so many injuries this year. They really missed Paredes' bat. He was out for a long time with that hamstring pull. Here's the pitch. Swung on and fouled at the plate, and the count is even on Sanchez. And 1 ball and 1 strike. Sanchez 1 for 3 last night, 1 for 9 in the series. He's 0 for 3 tonight. The set by Vargas and the 1-1. Swing and a foul behind the plate. Good cut by Sanchez. And the count is a ball and 2 strikes. Mariners get back home right after this ball game. Day off tomorrow. They take on the Rockies on Tuesday night at T-Mobile Park. We hope to see you there. Should be a big, big crowd. 3 with the Rockies, 4 with the Dodgers. Here's the pitch, way outside for ball 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Mariners need 6 more outs. Vargas looks in. The sign from Cal, and the 2-2 pitch, low and inside for ball 3. Full count, 3-2. Christian Walker is due up next. Outfield straight away. Rosarena, Rodriguez, Robles. Vargas ready. The pitch. It's strike 3 called. Got him looking. Fastball at the top of the zone. A big strikeout for Carlos Vargas. His first in relief. 1 away for the Astros here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Well, friends, looking for an unforgettable baseball experience? Sign up for the Mariners Fantasy Camp. It's your chance to live like a big leaguer at the Mariners Spring Training Complex in Arizona this January, alongside franchise legends like Mike Cameron, Mark McLemore, and many more. Tom Wilhelmsen will be there. Register at mariners.com/fantasycamp. Here's the pitch to Christian Walker. A strike, and the count is 0-1. Folks, it's a lot of fun. I've had the pleasure of going there a number of times. Here's the stretch. Next off in the way, swinging a foul behind home plate, and the count is 0-2 on Walker. And we hope to have a lot of folks sign up, guys and the ladies. More than welcome to join the Mariners down at Spring Training Complex in January for a week. A lot of fun, a lot of baseball. Here's the stretch, and the Vargas 0-2 to Walker. Up high for ball 1. 1 ball and 2 strikes. You'll be able to play a lot of baseball, a couple of games during the day. And then at the end of the week on Saturday, you play the campers, the former Mariner players. Just a week full of baseball and a great time. Here's the stretch. And the 1-2 to Walker. No, instead time is called. Or do we have a time, pitch timer infraction? We do. So the count is now even on Walker, infraction on Carlos Vargas. And the count is even now on Walker at 2 balls and 2 strikes. 1 out, 1 in. Mariners lead 7-3, bottom of the 8th. The 2-2 pitch, swinging a ground ball toward the hole at short, cut off by Gino. Sets up, toss across, in time to get Walker for the 2nd out of the inning. Another big ground ball out from Vargas. So 2 away, and that'll bring up Yainer Diaz. And Gary, when you keep the ball on the ground, you don't get in too much trouble.
Yeah, that's when he's at his best. Has an excellent ground ball rate. Got a key ground ball last inning, a double play to end the inning.
Now here's Yainer Diaz, 0 for 3. Swing, ground ball, slow roll it is short. Charging J.P. Crawford. One hands it, bobbles. The throw to first, and it's going to be not in time. Oh, the double clutch, the bobble cost J.P. And Diaz is safe at first base. He had to really charge in on the infield grass. He was able to get to it right at the cut of the grass as he tried to make the transfer. Bobbed the ball, recovered. But the throw was a little bit late. So that is going to be an error on J.P. Crawford. 1 on, 2 outs, and the batter is Jake Myers. And now time is called. Cal Raleigh out to the mound. Have a talk with Vargas. Just to make sure that Vargas is all right. Forget about the air and concentrate on the hitter Myers, who is 0 for 3 on the night. Oh, by the way, defensive change for the Mariners. Leo Rivas takes over at second base for Jorge Polanco.
I don't think it has anything to do with fouling a ball off his foot. It's kind of a natural spot since he batted last inning to let Rivas just take over defensively.
Yeah. He's outstanding out there at second base. So the conference breaks up. Cal heads on back behind the plate. Naylor back to first. Gino back to third. 1 on, 2 outs, 1 in. 7-3. Mariners lead. And here's Myers. Myers has flat out twice, both times to Robles and right. And he's grounded out to Gino at third. Vargas from the belt fires away. Swinging a pop-up out of play on the first base side. 0-1. Man, these games have playoff atmosphere. When you're playing in this ballpark against the team you're playing, you're battling to win a division title for the first time in a long time. Here's the pitch. Check swing. It's high for ball 1. 1 ball and 1 strike.
I would imagine if Myers were to reach here, the Mariners would go to Brash.
Zach Cole due up next. There's 2 hits, including a home run. The stretch and the pitch. Swinging a line shot into center field, but Julio is right there. He makes the catch, and that's going to retire the side. Well, the Astros get 1, and that's it. On the home run by Paredes, we go to the top half of the 9th inning. Our Mechanics Bank score. It's now the Mariners 7 and the Astros 3. To that 4-run advantage, that's our Mechanics Bank score. Rick Riz along with Gary Hill Jr. and Shannon Dreyer. Final game of the 3-game series here in Houston. Mariners started off this road trip winning 2 out of 3 in Kansas City. And now looking for a sweep here at Daikin Park. New pitcher for the Astros, left-hander Brian King, will take over in relief. And King 5-3 with a 2.48 ERA, making his 66th appearance of the season. And Mitch Garver will lead things off. He'll bat for Dom Canzone, a right-handed bat up there. Here's the pitch to Mitch, and a breaking ball for a strike, 0-1. And a run right here would be a momentum stopper as the Astros picked up a run in the bottom of the 8th and one in the 7th. Next offer, swing and a pop-up. Right side of the infield, drifting out to right field is the second baseman Altuve calling for it. Jose is there to make the catch. And the Mariners have 1 down here in the top of the 9th.
Hancock and Brash are both up in the bullpen. It feels like one of those situations, if the score stays as it is now, it's Brash. Maybe if they add a couple more, it'd be Hancock.
So depending upon what the Mariners do here in the top of the 9th inning, you'll see one or the other. Here's Victor Robles, who is 0 for 2, but he had a bases-loaded walk and scored a run in that big 7-run second inning. Here's the pitch to Vic, and it's low for ball 1. When we go to the bottom of the 9th inning, due up for the Astros, Zach Cole, Mauricio Dubon back to the top of the order, Jose Altuve. 8-9-1. The pitch swung on, fouled away off the catcher Diaz, and the count is even on Robles at 1 ball and 1 strike. We will be talking about Victor's Superman diving catch out in right center field in last night's game for a long, long time. Game-saving catch. Here's the pitch. Swinging a ground ball is short. Dubon has an easy hop. The throw to first in time to get Robles for the second out of the inning. So 2 up and 2 down. And the batter will be shortstop J.P. Crawford, who had the biggest hit in that 7-run second. His second grand slam of the season. Mariners now with 8. And that was JP's 12th home run of the year. The look in by King, and the left-hander's pitch to JP. Swing and a miss. And the count is 0-1. JP, the Mariners' Roberto Clemente nominee for one of the biggest awards you can present in baseball. Next pitch is high and outside for ball one. 1 ball and 1 strike. Honoring the man who is one of the great players in the game of baseball, but one of the greatest humanitarians there was ever in the history of baseball. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss, and it's 1-2 on Crawford. JP trying to get on board with 2 outs here in the top of the 9th inning. Mariners lead 7-3. They have out-hit the Astros 8-7. Home runs by Cal Raleigh and JP. The pitch outside for ball 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Cal Raleigh with his 58th home run of the season. What a fantastic year. Here's the stretch and the 2-2 on the way, and it's low and outside. Ball 3, full count. JP will battle. Sees a lot of pitches. Fouls away the tough ones and then looks for a pitch he can handle. The stretch and the 3-2 swung on. Chopper toward third. Charging to his right. Correa's got it on the run. The throw to first, and it's in time to get Crawford, and that will retire the side. We go to the bottom of the 9th inning. Mechanics Bank score. It's the Mariners 7 and the Astros 3. Cole to lead off the bottom of the 9th inning. The stretch of the pitch, swinging a ground ball up the first base line. Deep behind the bag, Naylor. He's got it. Long toss to Matt at the bag. In time. And Cole runs into the first base umpire, Bruce Dreckman. Bounces off of Dreckman. He's shaken up, but they get the out at first on Zach Cole. One away. Good hustle by Brash to get to the bag. As Naylor got to that ball deep behind the bag at first base, he had a long flip to Brash. But Cole racing across the bag ran right into Dreckman, who is a big man. He tried to veer to his right, ran right into him, but there's one out for the Astros here in the bottom of the 9th inning. Cole says he's okay. And here is Mauricio Dubon.
Caratini's going to pinch hit here for Dubon, trying to get Another left-handed stick against Brash.
Here's Caratini batting for Devon. 1 out. Bottom of the 9th inning. The pitch. Slider low and inside for ball 1. Mariners 7 runs tonight on 8 hits. Astros 3 runs on 7. Cal Raleigh with another home run. Here's the pitch of the way to Caratini inside for ball 2. And J.P. Crawford with the biggest hit of the game. The difference in this game, a grand slam in that 7-run top of the 2nd inning. Mariners did all of their scoring in the 2nd. And now Caratini calls time and he backs away from home plate. Jose Altuve is due up next. Now Brash ready. As a sign from Cal, and the 2-0 pitch. Swinging a foul ball out of play on the left field side, and the count is now 2-1. Caratini back up there. Earlier today, the Tigers losing again. Mariners looking to gain ground on Detroit. Here's the pitch. Swung on, fly ball into the gap in the right center field. On the run, Julio, and Julio will make the catch for the 2nd out of the inning. Manny came flying in from center field. Robles went behind Julio, and Julio was able to get there, and now there's 2 away. Let's pause for station identification. This is the Global Credit Union Mariners Radio Network.
Mariners Baseball. KIRO.
Well, here's Jose Altuve, and the pitch to him a strike. 0-1, 2 outs, nobody on. Bottom of the 9th inning. Brash looking for the final out of the ball game. Pitch on the way, and it's low and outside for ball 1. Altuve has been aboard 4 times with a couple of hits, a walk, and he's been hit by a pitch. Matt Brash ready, not wasting any time. The stretch. And the 1-1 on the way, and it's low and outside for ball 2. 2 balls and a strike on Altuve. Mariners looking for their 87th win. And the sweep here in Houston, the stretch, and the 2-1 pitch. Fastball is low and outside for ball 3. Brash doesn't like the feel of the baseball, tosses it away. 3-1 the count on Altuve. Man, what a run for the Mariners. They have won 13 of their last 14, trying to make it 14 of the last 15. Here's the set by Brash, and the 3-1 pitch. Fastball burns it in there for a strike, and the count is full on Altuve at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Brash takes a little walk to the backside of the mound, reaches down, takes a pitch out of the rosin bag, outfield straight away, infield back left side. Altuve, a tough little out. Mariners 1 out away from a victory, 1 out away from a sweep of Houston here in Houston. The stretch and the Brash 3-2 Altuve. Fastball, strike 3 called, and it's over. The Mariners win it 7-3 over the Houston Astros. They sweep aside Houston here at Daikin Park. Matt Brash picks up a 1-2-3, bottom of the 9th inning. The Mariners are now 3 games in front of the Astros in the American League West with 6 to play, and the Mariners are now 2 games in front of the Detroit Tigers for that 2nd spot. Holy smokes, what a run for the Mariners. They have now won 14 of their last 15 games. They're out there doing their happy dance. But the Mariners now lead the Tigers by 2 games and are looking to keep on going, so they have a bye for the first round of the playoffs. Toronto's going to get there, but right now with Detroit losing earlier today to Atlanta, the Mariners are 2 in front of the Tigers for that 2nd playoff spot, which would give them a bye. And now they have a 3-game lead over the Houston Astros. This has been an absolute incredible run by the Mariners. They come home. They have the off day tomorrow, take on the Rockies on Tuesday night. And Cal Raleigh, another day, another game, another home run. He now has 58 home runs on the season, 1 shy of Babe Ruth, who hit 59 back in 1921. That is the 4th highest total in American history for home runs. And then J.P. Crawford, the big home run tonight, a grand slam off the bat of J.P. Crawford, his second grand salami of the year, and for the Mariners, their 8th grand slam of the season. So the Mariners win it 7-3. They won last night 6-4. They won the night before 4-0. Great starting pitching again. Logan Gilbert was outstanding. 6 innings, gave up 1 run, 3 hits, walked 1, and he struck out 4.